All right. I believe our recording has started. All right, all right, all right. Hello to our YouTube people. I hope everyone is doing well and I hope everyone is great, great. Thank you so much for sharing this time with us on a Thursday. And I hope we are going to have a great show today. And hopefully you could stay tuned for one more second because I am very slow at this.
Yeah, no Robbie the Robber today.
No Robbie the Robber. Yeah, I forgot. Robbie the Robber is not here today. So we're doing it on our own. Boom. Oh, I gotta check my device. Sorry, everyone. One second. Damn, can't get that notification. My apologies if I just swore and you guys heard me. Sorry.
So what's the deal? Can we or can't we swear?
Not sure yet, but
All
I
right.
I do have some slips of words at times. All right, all right. We'll just get this going. Hello, hello, hello. First of all, thank you so much for joining us for today, Thursday's interview. Welcome back to the Security Tales. Today, we're diving deep into the topic that affects all of us on the road, our constitutional rights during traffic stops. Whether you're a seasoned driver or just starting out, knowing your rights can make a difference when you're pulled over. Prepare for the nitty gritty details as we explore the amendment rights that protect us. What to expect from law enforcement and how to navigate these situations effectively. Today, my co host, Christopher Kasha, over here, as a dedicated state trooper, retired with 26 years of experience in the Massachusetts State Police, and also one of my best friends and co-host. He will help us understand how these rights play out in the real world scenario and what we can do to ensure our interaction with law enforcement are respectful and informed, everyone. This is what we need. So let's get started and empower ourselves with the knowledge we all need to stay safe and informed on the roads. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, I am.
Let's get it
Let's do
done.
it.
I'm coming for you, Chris. I'm coming for you.
I know you're gonna give me a question when I'm sitting there just chilling out, and all of a sudden, bam,
That's what we do.
bam.
That's what we do. It's a Boston
Yeah.
thing. Let's get this going, everyone. So, Chris, first I'd like to say good morning and hello.
More afternoon, brother.
Oh, shoot. It is morning. Yeah, I live a backward world. So listen, when police officers pull over people, several Constitution rights may come into play. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to go to some commonly referenced one. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I start to watch these TikTok videos, I start to watch these YouTube videos, and I'm watching these people with their windows rolled up saying, I don't have to put my window down. I don't have to give you this. I have my amendment rights. Or individuals that are walking into police departments, filming, saying, I pay my public taxes, and all these different things that are occurring and happening. So, first, I want to discuss the five amendment rights that I always see that come up. And correct me as I go through them to the stages if I'm saying them correctly, okay? Because most of you that know you, I am a community school graduate, so it takes me a minute. So listen, Fourth Amendment,
Okay.
okay? Now, Fourth Amendment, and correct me if I'm wrong, that protects against unreasonable searches and seizures. Does this mean that police generally need probable cause or consent to search a vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you the amendments first and agree with me or disagree with me. So maybe I can better educate myself with it. Then I'm going to get into some questions of situations and causes and effect. And you obviously coming from your perspective is, you have 26 years on the job. Maybe there's a little different way that somebody else does it, but we're applying from your knowledge of what you consider,
All right.
right, into consideration. So now we're going the Fifth Amendment. Now, the Fifth Amendment, right? That one guarantees the right against self-incrimination,
Correct.
okay, during a traffic stop. Individuals have the right to remain silent and not answer questions that could incriminate them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit more, that's going to really apply a little bit more in court, but
Okay. All right. So I got some questions prepared for you.
yeah.
It's
All right.
trust me, I got it here on my paper file.
All right.
I'm ready to go. So now the Sixth Amendment, I want to make sure it's right again. Ensures the right to counsel. If a person is arrested during a traffic stop, they have the right to an attorney.
Not at the traffic stop, but
Okay. Okay.
later on,
So we're gonna discuss that because according to what I came up with, it ensures the right to counsel if a person's arrested during a traffic stop. So I wanted to know what's the difference. So okay, so now I got you, I got you. So the 14th Amendment provides for equal protection under the law. This amendment can be relevant in discussion about racial profiling or discrimination during a traffic stop. Ooh,
I mean,
got to pause. Got to
yeah,
pause
well,
on that,
I mean,
brother. Talk to me.
I think that's more in relation to, equal protection, born in the United States and all that stuff. I really don't think that has, pertains to, profiling or anything along those lines.
Well, once again, I'm talking about the amendment rights, what the clauses state in the amendments, right? And I'm not talking until I ask you my questions, bro. When I ask you my questions, then you can tell me if it applies. But according to the amendment rights, this is where it's telling me the descriptive language is in there.
All right.
Okay. So now I want to go with the ultimate one. The First Amendment protects freedom of speech. Individuals have the right to express their opinions, including during interaction with law enforcement, as long as they do not interfere. Once again, the term is interfere with the officer's duties. Is that correct?
Okay. Yeah. Don't forget religion and assembly.
Okay, I did not have that updated in the First Amendment. So religion and assembly is added also to it.
Yep.
Okay, I did not have that. So I do apologize. But okay. Now, these rights help to ensure the individuals are treated fairly and the law enforcement complies with constitutional protection under the traffic stop. Is that clearly stating that that's why we have these amendments?
Written long before traffic stops, but yes.
Okay, okay. So could you tell me how long ago these amendments were written?
Was it late 1700s, I believe?
Yeah, yeah, 1775.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Good, good.
And I
All
did not,
right.
just so you know, I have no notes. I did not prepare, and I'm just winging it here because, he wants me to be caught off guard.
Listen, Chris, nobody cares about you. They want me to
Yeah.
dig into you.
Yeah.
They want me to dig. Everybody that comes in or is part of my partner on this, we're digging in. We're coming up with stuff in facts, okay? So let's begin by explaining why these rights are important and how they relate to the community, trust, and policing.
All right.
Do you at least agree with me on that?
Okay.
All right. Me and you have been boys how long?
Almost 40 years.
Almost 40 goddamn years. So you understand what I'm about to say. So we're going to discuss the first thing I'd like to talk about is the Fourth Amendment, which is let's see if Chris knows. Give me.
Search and seizure.
Bingo. All right, all right. I give it to you. Can you explain how you determine whether you have probable cause to search a vehicle during a traffic stop? And if you need, this is like Jeopardy, bro. I can repeat this question before you screw it up.
There's going to be 100 variables, on, if I just pull you over for something simple and nothing else happens during the traffic stop, then, it's, that doesn't really go into my probable cause, but you can have 100 other things depending on the car, the person's actions, the person, what the person has done, what you see in the car, you're not going up there with the intention of searching the car. You're pulling the car over for something, maybe simple. And then if you see other factors and variables that bring you up to the level of probable cause, then you go there. I mean, if I pull up and you duck your head, you're slow to pull over and you take your time and you're ducking your, I pull up and you're ducking your head down below your passenger seat, all those things add up. You're
Okay, so I find it interesting, Chris, that you said that. So first of all, you're pulling me over for a probable cause,
yeah,
which could be what?
anything, speeding,
Okay, so
failure to
you
signal,
pull me over
anything.
for speeding.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you see me and you're approaching my vehicle and you see me lean forward. That for you gives you a red alert that there could be a probable cause to search the vehicle, but
Uh,
not think that I could have a medical issue and I possibly might be trying to rush myself to a hospital or something because something just happened. I might be a diabetic. I might have low sugar and I need glucose. I need something.
but wait, back up. Did I say lean forward? I don't think I said lean forward.
You said
I
leaning
I
down.
I said
I
looking
if
down
anybody
underneath the
wants to
pa
write,
under down underneath the passenger
what's the
seat.
difference?
I also a big difference between leaning over and maybe reaching for the glove compartment
Oh,
and your head ducking down for like 20, 30 seconds when I come up to the car
maybe on your paperwork.
and that you're slow to stop. Well,
Okay, so I'm slow to stop.
you're real slow to stop and you take like, take a mile or 2 miles to stop. It's,
Okay.
you know,
But how long should it take me to stop a vehicle? So if you're pulling me over for speeding and I don't instantaneously stop, what's the distance that now makes it be that probable cause?
there's not a distance. There's, just common sense where, you're pulling over, you safely go to the next lane, you safely go over to the right lane, breakdown lane, and you safely pull over. I don't want you slamming on your brakes, but at the same time, I don't want you, taking like 2 miles
What
to
if it
stop.
takes, what if I feel my safety is 2 miles down the road, or if my safety is to get off the highway because I'm scared
It's not
of
your,
myself and you being hurt
yeah,
if I pull over?
no, during the scene, you're gonna see what's reasonable. You know what? Heavy traffic is gonna take you an extra minute. Light traffic, it's not. Choosing where to stop that's not your call.
Really?
That is not your call.
So that kicks it up to a probable cause.
Yeah, if I have to follow you for 2 miles because you feel like stopping somewhere, I've already made that decision.
Okay.
That I see a BDL, I see the traffic, I see the
I'm sorry,
situation,
what's a BDL?
breakdown lane.
Okay.
So I've seen all these variables, and I choose to pull you over now because, I feel that it's safe. It's never going to be safe. I mean, pulling, a lot of local cops have a tough time. I mean, I've always been a, driver's side approach, and, you're pulling over cars and people are whizzing by you from like 4 feet from you, like 75 miles per hour. It's never going to be, safe.
Okay. All right.
So, but yeah, you don't make, we've already made that determination when it is to pull over.
Okay, so now after you've made that probable cause, right, and that decision to pull my butt over, so now here's my question. What procedures do you to follow to ensure the searches are conducted lawfully under the Fourth Amendment?
I'm not searching you. I'm just pulling you over because
But you
you're
said,
doing 95 and a
I
65.
know, but I decided to go 2 miles and now I'm giving you probable cause. Let's say I
Yeah,
was leaning down to get something.
yeah, that's only one part of it. There's going to be a lot of other things. It's going to be a demeanor. It's going to be the questions that you ask. Keep in mind when I ask you a question, I usually know the answer.
Okay.
I'm not asking you a question to an answer I don't know.
So you have ESP,
I don't have ESP, but what's the first thing a cop's going to ask you when he pulls you over?
license registration. And
Um,
do you know why you're being pulled
there
over?
you go.
Not that I know
Yeah,
personally.
and you know why you're being pulled over?
And I say no,
Now, all this aside, I just want to hit on one little tidbit.
please.
When I ask you why you're being pulled over and you're doing 95 and a 65 and you say, I don't know, then now you're like, all right, dick. All right. And then you're like, how fast you were going? 72. It's like, all right, now, all right.
I say I have my cruise control on, and
No,
it was only
yeah.
programmed at 70.
Yeah, well, now you're getting a ticket because you just, all the people listening, just tell the truth. I know the answer. You know the answer. When you start lying, hey, you're talking to somebody, they start lying to you. The next answers out of their mouth don't hold much credibility.
Okay, all right.
And
So,
no, we do not take anything personal. We
oh,
do
well, I
not
don't
take
know.
it personal.
It seemed like you were getting a little antsy on
No,
that
no,
question
no,
there
no,
for a
no. We don't take
second.
things personal. It's just, I'm out there doing my job. And what would you
No,
rather
and I
have?
appreciate your service for what you've done.
Is the question. Do you want me to do my job or do you want me to sleep in the media? And I can do either.
Well, we all know we can
Yeah.
validate that some of yous have.
Mhm.
So listen, so let's say we did elevate that to a search and seizure. So Once again, I'll repeat what I wrote. What procedure do you follow to ensure that the searches are conducted lawfully and under the Fourth Amendment? So now it's elevated to that point,
Mhm.
right? Now, what do you tell me, and where does it go?
Well, of the numerous questions I'm going to ask you, and whether it's your car, it's not your car, it's somebody else's car, you don't know whose car it is. You have and I don't want to focus on this one thing, but a lot of times, people have the one key in the ignition, and now that's kind of like says to me, this isn't your car. You just grab the car, you don't know whose car it
I
is,
never thought of that.
you don't know where you're going. You talk to the passenger, where you're going. Well, we're going here. You talk to the other guy, we're going here. And you talk to the guy and he's like, yeah, we're going to, whatever, X city. I'm like, well, that city's north. This is south.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways that, people can trip up themselves. I mean, I had a guy pull him over, a couple of guys had him sitting on the ground, and calm as calm could be. It was amazing. And, one thing led to another, and they had a kilo in the center console. I'm like, how could you not be like sweating like fucking Saturday Night Live with the kilo in the center console? And they were just cool could be.
And it was sitting right there where you could see it right during the pullover.
Well, they already did enough to get out of the car and be sitting on the ground while we took a look in the car.
So let's just say it was a great search and seizure day for you for a kilo of coke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yes.
were these out of state people
Uh,
or in
some
state?
I don't remember particularly, but it can be both.
Yeah, I find that interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. All right. So once again, everybody on the Facebook that's on Facebook Live or the YouTube, if you have questions, I'm going to finish my questions. And obviously, because you're on Facebook, I'm going to have to walk up to the phone and look. So if you do have questions, just please, if you're following on Facebook, just write it down. I'll get up. I'll go take a look at it since Robbie the robber is not here today to help us out. So here's my second one, the Fifth Amendment, Chris. Do you know what the Fifth Amendment stands for?
Yes, I do.
All right, all right. Let's move on. How do you handle a situation where a driver chooses to remain silent during a stop?
I mean, you don't have to say anything. I mean, I can ask you particular questions. If you don't answer, you don't answer, and I'll make my determinations based on what answers I do have. I
So,
mean,
what are your protocols in those cases, though?
well, I mean,
Do you have a procedure protocol that you have dedicated to all law enforcement, I guess? Do you follow a procedure for this?
well, I mean, say different situation, same result. You pull over somebody who doesn't speak English.
Mhm.
Why I've been pulling you over. Guys like that, don't understand you, and well, I'm pulling, and I'll be like, hey, I'm pulling you over for speed, I'm pulling you over for this, I'm pulling you over for that, and you ask him questions, and he doesn't understand. You kind of like, well, all right, so I just do my thing, which is
So they don't have to reply back, but
they don't
yeah.
have to, no, but it's in your benefit. Again, we're not taking this. I didn't pull you over because I don't like you.
No, we
You know,
understand that. I understand
we're not
that.
taking anything personal until you start lying, and then maybe make it personal.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this, since you just stated that, can you share an experience where you had to navigate a suspect's right against self-incrimination? And I do mean navigate.
I mean, if he has underlying criminal activity, like real criminal activity, yeah, do you have anything in the car? He's not going to, yeah, I got a kilo in the center console.
Have
Just
you
so,
ever met somebody that said, "Yeah,
no,
I have
no,
drugs"?
no, just so you know. No, but sometimes they'll admit to the little weed in the ashtray to forego
Complete search.
the other bigger thing that they're trying to hide.
Okay. All right. All right.
But I mean, that doesn't come up much because you don't. If they answer, they answer. They don't have to answer, and they're free to lie as much as they want.
All right. All right. So we're gonna go to the Sixth Amendment.
All right.
Sixth Amendment's what, Chris?
Right to
I
counsel,
love that term. I love them.
fast and public trial,
Yes,
confront your
sir.
witnesses, legal
Don't
representative.
hate the system.
You know,
What is your understanding of a person's right to an attorney during an arrest, and how do you communicate this to the individual you stop?
at the traffic stop, you're not gonna be, picking up your phone and talking to your attorney. You know,
Okay.
I'm just
Now, why
doing.
though? Safety of you, or
I
what
mean,
is it?
safety time. I mean, I can't sit there and let you, have, sit there and on the phone while I'm trying to conduct. This goes back to I think one of the amendments where, you can't interfere with me doing my job.
Okay.
I mean, you're gonna sit there and call your attorney and say, what are you gonna say? Hey, should I tell him about the drugs? Or, I mean, if
So,
you choose not to answer, you choose not to answer. It's just really in the end, it's really the same result.
so I get arrested. So that process of the rest, what? When I show up at the barracks, I go through what?
All right, so now arrest is a little bit different than the traffic stop. So you've already done something arrestable.
Yep.
You're arrested. You're back
Yeah.
at the barracks. You want to make your phone call. You can make your phone call after we have to do our preliminary booking information, which is nothing's, name, address,
Fingerprinted and
yeah,
stuff like that.
just basic stuff. So there's nothing incriminating in there. So you don't need to talk to an attorney. I need to figure out who you are first. I mean, that's first and foremost.
Okay.
And then, from there we go. It's kind of like when I pull you over in a traffic stop, like your first question, second question is license registration, or, maybe the first question is license registration, then, why I stopped you because you need to identify it. It's like, did you know that when I say license registration, you're like, no. What happens then?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, because of the state we live in, I'll ask you 17 times because because
What are you saying? We're full of liberals?
yeah, maybe 18, and then you're under arrest.
All right, all right.
Because failure to identify yourself is an arrestable offense.
So that is a law.
Yes.
So that means if you come up to me and I'm just standing there in the corner,
Ah,
I'm just
you
asking.
changing the variables.
No. I'm just, you didn't give me a chance to finish.
All right.
I am standing on a corner of a street on a cul-de-sac that obviously the neighbors called me upon because they know I don't live there. You pull up. You ask me who I am. Is there a reason why I am in the neighborhood? Is that proper procedure?
You could talk to people. They don't have to answer.
All right. What if I don't answer and I start walking away? Where does it lead from there? I didn't violate anything. I just walked down a street that was a dead end street.
Mhm.
Now people have called because now I've been on that street for more than 10 minutes. But I do go for walks. I do go for runs. So maybe that day I just decided to run down this street and I paused for a second to get a breath. But I don't want to talk to you.
Well, first off, I don't know if I believe that you run.
That's messed up, bro.
That's
Listen,
that's
there's many
first.
people that know I run.
With those little tiny feet.
Don't worry about the tiny feet.
So
It's all about the guns, baby.
So second of all, yeah, there's really not much I can do. I can't arrest you. I can't search you. I'm not going to do that. But something, I also can sit there and watch you as long as I want. Just like you're free to walk down the street, I'm free to sit there and watch it.
So there's no form of harassment if you follow me all the way down the block in your cruiser, just gliding there staring at me.
I'm just chilling just like you. I'm enjoying the beautiful cul-de-sac.
Someone's got to throw some questions up about that comment.
Hey, I didn't do anything.
So listen, we're gonna move on to the 14th Amendment rights. What is that?
What is that? What's that? That's more equal protection, being born in the United States, and that everybody gets equal protection under the law.
Okay, so my question was going to be, how does your department address concerns, or your past department, I should say, about racial profiling during a traffic stop?
We are Everyone's pretty much audited. They'll look at your citations. The people, even the people you pull over is put into, I pull you over is put into the computer. The people I pull over and do nothing. The people I pull over and write a ticket, everything's put into the computer. And, if they see a pattern of racial profiling, then it's up to your supervisor to address it.
I didn't know the department does self-auditing about that type of stuff, huh?
I
never knew that. So
many years.
That's
And
actually kudos on the department for that. I wouldn't ever realize that they would do something like that.
as long as I can remember. But now let's look at the
The
variables
community?
and the community, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm working in Lawrence and Lowell and stuff like that, and
Which has a varying amount of different individuals, so it's all good.
that's right. So, obviously my parameters are going to be different if I'm working, 495 somewhere, or depending on, where I'm working. It's, it has to be like they say, it should be conducive to the environment in which you're working.
Okay.
If I'm working in, Newton and, stuff like that, my number is going to be different. Everything should be different.
Okay, so now we know what the department follows, okay? So one of my insights were, what training do you receive regarding equal protection under the law in treating all individuals fairly? So do they put you through training classes for this and,
Yeah.
diversity training and
Yeah, we have,
things like
yeah,
that?
diversity officers, equal training, racial profiling classes. They do all of it, and they also self-audit. And it's up to your first line supervisors to audit you, and you should also, to a certain extent, be auditing yourself. And that's why every stop is put in there, whether a citation's written or an arrest is made, or I just pull you over and let you go with the warning.
Okay. All right, all right. And was this a monthly training, 3 months, 6 months? What do
Uh,
you guys go through yearly?
it's more like probably it's like, if I remember, it's like an ongoing thing where, every couple of years you have to do this, and you have to, and then we also have numerous classes that we have to take basically on our time, or on the job's time, that takes away from work, where you have, numerous classes that you have to take on a myriad of, different things.
Okay. All right. So one of the last ones, and I held off on this one, is your First Amendment. And
Mhm.
what's your First Amendment, Mr. Kasha?
Freedom of speech.
Damn right, and I use that every day. How do you handle situations where individuals express their rights verbally during a traffic stop? So you pull me
Let's give you an
over and I'm
example.
like, First Amendment rights, I ain't saying shit. Screw you, walk away from my car. You're in my face. I don't care who you are. That badge means nothing, you son of a b.
That's fine.
Get the hell away from me.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, but
That's fine. I'll,
how do you handle it though?
how do I handle it? I just,
Yeah.
not going to take anything personal, and I'm just gonna, you don't want to answer me, and well, you're gonna provide your license or registration. We have already established that. That has to be established, and that has to come out. And I'll ask you a couple of things. You don't want to answer me, that's fine. I'll just, do my job, and I see one, two, three, four violations. You may get them all.
So what if I question your authority and I
Well,
become a combative about your badge and who you are and telling you I pay your taxes? Do I not pay your taxes?
I don't know. Do you work?
Oh, that's cold, bro.
Yeah.
I'm
Uh,
sitting here with you, though. Am I not?
But well, I mean, all right, you've already given me your license and registration, so you've already complied.
Okay.
You want to say whatever you want to say. I'm just going to walk back to my car. I'll maybe listen, maybe, walk back to my car, do my thing, and walk up to the car and give you your citation and be on my way. A
Okay.
lot of people are going to like sit there, and they're going to want to, I'm not going to sit there and yell. I'm sitting on the side of the highway, cars buzzing by me at 65 miles per hour. I'm not going to sit there and have a debate with you. And, once the ticket's written, yeah, a lot of people, I go up, I got the ticket, I go to hand it to them, the license, the registration, and the ticket. And they're like, I'm not taking it. Like, why not? And it's like, well, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to sit here and argue with you about the ticket. And I'm going to be like, oh, sorry, time to argue is before I use pen. Sorry, can't erase it.
So what if I don't take it? Where does that ticket go?
It's dropped on the floor,
So you drop it on the floor and litter? Do you get a ticket?
on the floor of the car.
Oh, of the car. What if you can't? I roll my window.
Well, you're gonna get the ticket one way or the other.
Do you write up a ticket for someone like that drives off, tells you to screw up, and you've already written that ticket, or do you have to say you're free to go?
The traffic stop has to be concluded.
And what makes it concluded?
When you're giving back your information, and
So I accept the information, you hand it first to me.
yeah,
Now you're explaining the ticket, I roll up the window and I tell you to keep it and I drive off.
and I still have your license.
No, no, you've handed it to me.
Then I leave.
And then what happens to the ticket?
Well, you're not getting the license without the ticket.
So you give the ticket first, then the
No,
license?
I give it to you in all in one little packet. I just fold up the ticket, license, registration, give it to you. You
Okay.
Take it
All
all.
right.
No one's ever not refused to take their license back.
No, that's true. And no, no, that's a lie.
Yeah.
When we watched that guy from Maine with the Mass State Trooper, and he got out, ripped up the ticket, threw it on the ground, and the main trooper turned around and says, "I'm gonna write you a citation for littering. You need to step out and pick it up." And then he goes, "Give me my license! Give me my license!"
Yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah, that was hilarious. There's a little
Yeah.
background to that too, you know.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Guy was getting, guy may have gotten a complaint or two, and and he was just being extra calm that day.
So he was being really
Really,
calm
really,
that
really,
day.
really calm. But you know what? I mean, are the complaints valid? I've had people complain about me and dozens of times, and the person complains, and my supervisor's talking to him. He's like, all right, well, what do you? Oh, he wasn't nice. He was mean. He was whatever. And I'm like, well, that's not really true. I'm very businesslike, very, very just fucking monotone and businesslike. And
I'll validate that. I was going to say
wait.
monotone.
And my supervisor would be like, well, how can I fix this? I go, and he's like, what if I take care of the ticket? If we get rid of this, oh yeah, that'll be fine. It's like, then now, it's like, you're not calling to complain. You're calling to get the ticket gotten rid of, and no, the ticket won't go away.
Needless to say, the way you looked at me, I've been a very good driver, bro. I don't get tickets. I go speed limit. Everyone go speed limit. So listen, obviously I was going to ask you, can you provide an example of how you balance maintain order, right? I think you did a good job on that one. Now, on top of it, I was going to say for the person's, freedom of speech and stuff like that. But one of my questions is, in your experience, how do you think public understanding of these rights could improve interactions between police and the community? So one of the biggest things that I've been hearing nowadays is less community policing and more police in the cruiser. I remember when I was younger, especially when I was younger and I lived in Boston, I remember the guy that used to blow the whistle and drive around in the fish boats, and my family would come running out and buy fish off it with the slush guy pushing the cart and the cop walking behind it. Then I remember when we moved to the suburbs that there was always a cop on beat. You always knew his name. He always stopped in, always said hi. If you were at the library or whatever, everybody, like I remember this guy, God rest his soul. His name was Paul Pelmacci, Bobby Pelmacci. I'm sorry. God rest his soul. What a great guy. Always went out of his way to come by and say hi no matter where you were. If you were on the park, he would throw a baseball with you, throw a football with you. What I've seen is less interactions now, and I just see people driving around cars, like ticket cars and cops jumping out and ticketing cars, not saying hi to you, not saying anything. So what do you think? What are we missing out in today's society where we're not having that interactions with policing?
Well, I think it's a two-way street. If you're nice to me, I'm going to be nice to you. I mean, uh, if you say hi to me, I'm going to say hi back. Sometimes it's tough to, you know, as the law enforcement officer, just to, start the conversation hi or whatever, because depending on who you're talking to, they're going to be like, why are you talking to me? What do you want? I didn't do anything.
Well, I was
It's like,
going to bring
it's
that.
like,
I'm going to bring an example up on that.
I'm just trying to say hi. And,
Okay.
it's a two-way street. I mean, I'm walking down the street and you're nice to me and or I'm nice to you in the beginning. And obviously you have to reciprocate, and then from there on, yeah, there's not a lot of foot beats, and then from there on, it develops. I meet 5 people today, 5 tomorrow, 5 the next day, and now it becomes that. But also,
Okay.
let's be honest, yeah, you have to have the personality for that.
So let me
Uh,
ask you something. I'm going to use this interaction, especially since you're on the department.
Guilty.
We're not going to discuss the vehicle I drive, but let's just say I drive a vehicle.
Mhm,
We're not going to say which vehicle it is, but it is the vehicle you're thinking of.
mhm,
I was stopped at a stop sign. Now there's a three-way stop. I'm sorry, there's a two-way stop and one yield, right?
mhm.
There's a church being built. I was 3 cars behind an individual. None of them fully stopped. The cop was standing right on the corner. He was standing right there watching. I get to the stop sign after the 3. I almost dead stop. Almost did not stop completely.
Mhm.
No vehicles. There was no vehicles at the yield or stop sign. He yells, "Pull it over." No problem. I pulled the vehicle over. He comes up, and the first thing he does in a high voice, he says, "You don't know how to read signs?" And I said, "First of all, there's no need to yell. I'm sitting right here." I pulled over the vehicle. And I said, "So if you're telling me that I almost stopped at that stop sign, but the two other vehicles, one of them had a company logo on it from this town." So I knew because he waved at him. That guy didn't stop at all, just went. The second guy rolled. I almost stopped. Then when I said, as I explained to them, "Can you explain to me why I was going much slower than any of them, but you never stopped them and you waved hi to the first one. And every day I drive by you, I wave hi to you and you've never waved at me." And he says, "Just do me a favor, please stop at that sign." But he went from level 10 all the way to level 1 when I just asked him calmly to explain himself. Oh, and I also stated I own a business in your town.
Mhm.
And I said, "I've been here 7 years and I've just never had interactions with any of you." So do you think I was wrong for interacting, or I should have just sat there quiet and listened to him?
Do you have tinted windows?
No, the windows were down anyways in the
All right.
vehicle.
All right.
I'm sorry, I do have tinted windows, but both of my windows were down. They weren't up.
All right. So,
It's only a two-door.
maybe where you're going, uh, now think about it this way, right?
I personally think it's because of the car. I don't think I'm going towards me. I think it's because he saw me drive the car that I'm in.
All right, let's look at it this way. This could go 100 friggin' ways. All right.
Exactly.
So I'm sitting there, I'm watching, what, and you're there. So you kind of at least friggin' obey the law a little bit when you see me. That's kind of like,
But I did.
I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about the whole scenario.
Okay, but I want to stick
so-
to my
No,
scenario.
all right, but we are sticking. We're talking about car one, car two, and car three.
Yep.
Okay. So
Okay.
don't pee on my boots, right? That's not cool. So I'm sitting there, you know, you can't you can't try to take it for everything because you would never freaking go anywhere. Okay. So I see car one go by. All right. He does a slow roll. I'm like, all right, well, I'm standing here. I see car two go by. Freaking another guy does a freaking slow roll. Now it's just starting to like, it's kind of ramping up on me, not getting angry, but now I see a third car do it. And you're like,
But the
what?
third car almost stopped.
Right. But didn't.
Almost like completely
But
stopped.
didn't. It may not be, and we can never read the guy's mind. It may not be that he stopped you because of the car you were driving, who you are, this, that, or the other thing. It could be that, look, I just saw one guy do it. I saw another guy do it. And you're like, WTF, try not to swear. It's like, when is this going to stop? Right. So you kind of like, at that point, you're like, all right, one guy did it, two guys did it, three guys. And now you just kind of like, oh, the first guy did it. And, you were kind of daydreaming and you weren't quick enough to grab him. Second guy did it. You're like,
Well, it's kind of hard when you waved at him.
yeah, but, it's eventually when you keep on seeing, you're standing there and you keep on seeing people do it.
So I just
over
ended
and
up being
over again.
that unlucky guy
Yeah,
that ended up
I mean,
getting hit with it.
you know,
That's what you're saying to me, Chris.
I'm, because he doesn't like your car,
He doesn't like what, Chris? Chris, what doesn't he like? Tell me what he
I
doesn't
mean,
like.
I've seen people like, oh, you pull me over because I have a red car. It's like, really? Really? Is that what you think?
Well, no, I've heard that when I was younger, but I
Yeah.
haven't heard of it since.
Yeah.
But one of my other things that I'd like to point out, because these are things that happen to me, and this is what I like to stir conversations on. So I'm in another town.
Mhm.
I'm completely stopped at a red light. I'm actually on the phone with my wife on the Bluetooth. But for some unknown reason, I have one of those things that you spin in your hands all the time.
Mhm.
I forget what it's called, spinners, whatever
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah.
So sometimes I have a habit where I just gotta continuously just keep moving. So I didn't reach for my spinner. I grabbed my phone that was on the seat. Now I'm at a red light. I'm about 6 cars behind. I'm spinning the phone in my finger. The light changes. Before I move, I throw the phone on my car seat. I drive. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the cruiser that could only go in the left lane, could only make a left turn, pulls me over. Guy comes up to me. You know what the first thing he said to me?
What's that?
"Nice car. This is a beautiful car." I says, "Thank you." And I looked at him.
See, community
Second,
policing.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah, see?
community policing.
Yeah.
You know what the second thing is?
What's that?
Do you know why I pulled you over?
All right.
And I said, at this time, I do not know why. Now, truthfully, I forgot I took the car out of the garage and I didn't have an updated inspection sticker.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I'm thinking, okay, he's got me for the inspection sticker. There's no problem. Chris, wasn't even about that. So he says, well, I pulled up beside you and I saw you twirling your phone. I says, okay, but I put it down on my seat. If you were beside me, you saw before I even moved forward.
Mhm.
And he stated, yeah, but mass state law, I have to give you a ticket on that. And I said, so you're giving me a ticket because at a red light, I held the phone, but you saw me when the car went in motion to go forward. You're giving me a ticket. He then stated after he ran my plate and it came back to a PI business, he says, oh my God, you're a private investigator? And I said, yeah. And he says, oh my God, I worked for a private investigator. And then he walks back to his cruiser, came back with a ticket and goes, I'm just going to give you a warning. So to you, you're talking about community policing
Mhm.
and stuff like that because he asked me about the car. Do you think that he might have went over the top for this and made the wrong decision? Because I really wasn't driving with the phone, and basically it wasn't going to be an argument with him. I was going to accept it and whatever because I did have the phone in my hand.
Mhm.
But don't you think after meeting me and speaking to me and then me verbalizing to you, I put the phone down before we even move forward. That
Yeah.
you knew I wasn't on the phone, and on top of it, my wife was on the phone with me the whole time. I said, "Honey, sorry, out of respect for the law enforcement that just pulled me over, I need to hang up and give him my attention."
All right. So how's the law written? Just out of curiosity, what
I never knew there was a law for the phones.
all right.
Truthfully,
When you're behind, when you're at a red light, stopped.
I wasn't. I was behind vehicle stopped at a red
Okay.
light. But go ahead.
Are you driving?
Yes, I am.
Isn't the law written you can't have a phone while driving?
But I always put my car in park, and he knew that because he saw me shift into gear. He even said it.
You're still driving. The way the law is written, if you're still driving behind the wheel. So if you're stopped at a red light talking on the phone and then you're one of those one in a million people who put the phone down, who hang up
Oh, absolutely.
and who hang up and okay, come on.
I do
then-
because my wife yelled at me all the time,
and
so I
then-
stopped texting. She
and then-
yells at me.
and then drive,
Yeah.
you're still wrong. Because when you're behind the wheel, you are driving. Stop, drive, doing 30, doing 0, you're driving.
So my thing is, I get into specifics when it comes to tickets. What I see is this: if I get pulled over, it says I was speeding, I was doing illegal lane changes without A, B, and C. So why wouldn't that ticket say I was completely stopped at a red light? I was behind six vehicles. Before I went forward in movement, I threw it on the phone. Why wouldn't you guys write that much detail since you've noticed it? He dictated to me what I did. I didn't dictate to him what I did. I just said, but you saw what I did. He goes, oh, yeah, I saw you put the phone on the seat and then go. So why wouldn't you, because you know I'm going to fight the ticket in the long run,
Mhm.
why wouldn't you place the proper report information into that so when the judge sees it, while I'm saying my story, it could validate with your story
Alright.
going, that's exactly what I
How
did.
do you know he didn't?
Because I saw what he wrote. He gave me a warning.
All right,
It said
Did he give you an
phone
old-
in hand.
Did he give you an old school ticket?
No, it was a
Uh,
weird ticket. It almost looked like this
like a
piece
sheet
of paper.
All
Yeah,
right,
it was
all
that.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
So did you know whether or not we're talking about the old school tickets that have three
Yeah.
copies or that
No,
which
no,
is
three. Yeah, the yellow,
right, the
white.
old
Yeah,
school,
yeah, yeah.
right, which is all right. On the old school ticket, the way
Yeah.
we did it, so there's 3 copies. So what I do is I don't write my notes on your ticket.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna write my notes. So what I do is I flip over your ticket, I write my notes that go through the other 2 copies. So
Yeah.
my notes, whatever, the phone, the this, the that, will be on those notes. The newer tickets now, which are awesome, it's like a sheet of paper. I can write, I don't even know, probably like a paragraph or 2.
Yeah, there was nothing. It just
Yeah,
said
but
it said I had
doesn't-
my
it
phone
does-
in my hand.
The remarks doesn't come up on your ticket. The
But
remarks.
don't I have the rights to know what the remarks is upon being pulled over?
I told you what the remarks are. You were there.
But
This is just so I remember.
so
you
I'm
were
kind
there.
of I'm kind of confused with that though. So you pull me over, you give me a ticket, then from you giving me a ticket, you turn around and you write what you're pulling me over for, which has the information of the reason why you pulled me over, right?
Mm-mm.
What do you mean no?
you
It doesn't say you pulled me over for speeding
no
and lane changing or whatever.
that's on your copy. Your copy is going to have speeding, phone, the chapter and the section, time, when and where, and all that. My other notes are just for me to remember the different variables of the stop because it could be 6 months until we go to court. You don't need to know all those other things. And besides, all those other
Why
things
wouldn't I need to know that?
because you lived it. You
I know,
lived it.
but
You
I
don't
don't
need
have
to.
the rights to have your paperwork at that time.
It's not rights. It's you lived it. You don't need to know. All right, did you know that you were the third car in line?
Did I know
Yeah,
from where?
at the stop. Did you know you were the third car
Yeah,
in
I
line?
actually did.
Okay. Did you know that you were stopped at a red light? Did you
Absolutely.
know that you were talking on a Bluetooth? Did you
Absolutely.
know that you picked up the phone and then put it down on the seat?
Absolutely.
Okay, those are my notes. I'm just making
But
notes of
your
everything that you know already. So
but
why
but
do
your notation, what you have, why you're saying that I know what I did. Why can't I know what you did on the ticket?
it's not what
The reasonable cause of why and what you proceeded to see the reason for why you pulled me over.
it's like me watching a movie with you and then writing down, we all know what happened. I can write like two paragraphs. Where's all that going to go? I mean, you've seen the tickets. There's
Well, to
not,
me, I just think it's fair that
yeah,
if you're questioning me,
but I am
right?
just reiterating what happened
No, no,
because
no. When you pull me over,
yeah,
what did you say that you asked me?
what license registration, why
Do
I
you
pulled
know,
you
do you
over.
know why you
Yeah,
pulled over?
yeah, yeah.
So it would be wrong for me to say, you tell me why you pulled me over. So I can have that information for my log. And then I can tell you
No,
why.
no, you can say you as the driver can say no. Most people say no anyway. Remember we talked about that?
Oh, no, no, no. I know
Yeah,
that. I know
yeah.
that.
So,
This
but
is a whole synopsis.
this
You don't
this
need to get
is
your muscles all going
this
and
is
revved.
because this is just because I don't. This is just reiterating what happened. So, 6 months from now, you're going to remember most of it. 6 months from now,
I'm gonna be honest with you. At this age, I don't remember what I did
all
yesterday.
right. Well, but
So
but but 6 months from now, after I made 100 stops, 200 stops, I'm not going to remember. So it's just notes to me that I'm not going to remember you with a third car in line. I'm not going to remember it was at a red light.
so
I'm
when
not
we
going to
go to
remember all
court, am
that.
I allowed to have what you wrote
Sure, if you want.
for my attorney?
Sure.
So the paperwork that you wrote that day, not what you're coming up with in your whole synopsis of that day. I could say, well, I'd like to see his report from that day he pulled me over,
Yep.
which is legal documents to the police department. It's already recorded in the file.
Oh, yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, and it just staying stuff like that. I mean, if you want to know what the weather conditions were that day, I mean,
I would love to, because
that's probably on there too.
if you're telling me it was slippery and I
You
say
know,
this dumbass, it was 80 degrees out and freaking sunny.
yeah, yeah.
All right, let me see if we have any questions up here, bro. Give me 1 second. Oh God. So I have a question from Radiant Medispa. That's right. You shouldn't be on your phone
Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
behind the wheel. I'm gonna
that's
have to go with
right.
Chris. That one has to be from the wife because I continuously get yelled at for it.
That's right. Talking on the phone.
So listen,
If anybody wants to
um,
believe you, hang up when you go. That's all right.
hon, don't I hang up?
Well, now you
Don't
know.
I hang up?
Now you know.
So listen, Chris, I think that was great, and I appreciate your time as always, and it's always welcome to have you as not only a brother but also a great co-host. And just like I said before, obviously we're just starting out with this, and we're trying to build it out forward. And the more questions we have, the more we can actually build on what we're looking to do with some great answers. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't always have to be about law enforcement. It could be security. It could be your everyday life. We're going to be discussing politics and stuff. I personally wanted to talk about some pardons that were given out on both ends of it. And Chris wanted us to stay away from that for a little bit. So, obviously I want to agree with my co-hosts, but there's so many things that I want to talk and so many things that I want to bring to value. So please, write it on the Facebook, send it on the YouTube. Please get more followers for us. We will be having a K9 specialist tomorrow for a bomb specialist. He'll be on tomorrow on Friday. And then we will have a personal dear friend of mine that owns an entertainment company and I'll keep that quiet for now, but I think it's going to be an incredible interview with him because he's got so many great stories and positions with dealing with law enforcement and others. And then from there, we're just looking to have a great time and just take a break in your day to watch us and enjoy it. Go ahead, Chris.
All right, I want to hear what you guys want us to talk about. Some of my little things that I like, mental health and law enforcement. I can't even tell you how many people who have taken their own life. It's amazing. And unfortunately, you guys don't hear about it because you hear about, a 45-year-old guy passing away suddenly. Obviously, you don't want to say who it was, but, everyone close to him knows. And, you know, passing away suddenly at 45 usually is indicative of something else. Um, Other thing is, I would have been great, happy to talk about the pardons because I actually a couple things you might want to talk about. So one of the people that some of the people that Biden, you'll know my politics, that Biden pardoned was a guy who killed a Virginia police officer.
Absolutely.
He was pardoned. Numerous crack dealers. When you get in, grass is one thing, but when you get into crack, I mean that's nasty, nasty stuff. That's Healy's budget. Extra 5 billion she's going to spend this year. I mean, come on, that's was a $62 million budget up to 67, 5 billion. That's almost a 10% increase. Why, where's all that money going to? Border Patrol. I have several friends on the Border Patrol who I was actually texting last night and today. People are freaking out with the military, going down and all these things that Trump's doing, pro or con, whatever is fine. But the military going down to the border, I asked them, I go, what are they doing down there? They are, they're there to assist. They may fly a copter, they may help put up a barrier, build something, this, that, and the other thing. They are not taking any enforcement action. Um, they're just helping out in more an auxiliary capacity. If they see something, they're not going to act arrest. They're going to call the border patrol agents who are going to do their job. So I know people are freaking out about that, and in reality, from two of my friends who are actually on the border, uh, that's really what happening. They're not taking any particular action. But I want to hear what you guys want to talk about because we can talk about anything, but those are some of the things. If you don't want to see your tax dollars, go to waste because this state is taxing everything, and not that I even drink it, but what's the new tax now? Tax on sugary drinks. I mean, come
Oh,
on.
don't even get carried away. You're taxing on nothing nowadays.
Where's that money going? Uh, the millionaire's tax. All right, yeah, I do not feel bad for somebody making $20 million a year, but at the same token, and the way I read it when it first started, because I didn't read the whole thing, that money was supposed to go towards education. Well, in reality, 50% is going towards education, 50% is going towards the T. That's not what that money was dedicated for. That's not how they sold you the bill of goods, but it's going to support the T. The T should support the T, not that and in addition to other billions of dollars.
Damn, Chris.
I got a
I
lot to
just said
say,
stuff
man.
we'll talk about later. And Chris just,
I'm
damn, let it all out,
I'm,
Chris. Let it all
I'm
out.
giving you tidbits for what you want to hear.
Let it all out.
This
I
this
think
state
Chris
is
just had a
terrible.
moment. He just had a moment on live camera.
You know,
Listen, all kidding aside though, seriously, reach out to us. And one of the things that I want to discuss coming up also is a case that to me for some reason developed an emotional attachment to because I do have a daughter. It was a girl that's been missing since 1987, located in Woburn, Mass. Her name was Melanie Melanson, and it's sad to say I believe all members of her family have passed. And that, for some reason, has really hit home with me that they have the private investigators were involved, Mass State Police, local. They had cadaver dogs that located the body, and it went from one area to another area. Somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. You're talking about 1987. It's time. It's time that people come forward. This was a young girl, had a life in front of her. And I think with everyone that's coming forward and all these cases and all these old cases that are being now solved, I think this girl deserves to be found and deserves to be rested. And there's many others, many others. And you know what? I like to discuss about it all, you know. I have emotional attachments to a lot of things, you know. So please send questions, send everything. Don't let me and Chris keep rambling on about things. Give us a direction because we will be having others on. You know, I was blessed the other day to have Dr. Wong on. She's great asset to me in my personal life and also as a medical doctor. She's an incredible human being and she's there. She's more of a caring person. And, you know, just like Chris and other people that surround me, I surround myself with positive people. But I'd like to end it by saying, God bless you all. Be blessed, be one, and mad love.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. First, I'll click this off since Robbie the Robber's not here. Ciao for now. Boom, post. That's good. Very good, Mr. Gosha. Ciao.